girl Sassy MC here, and I would like to welcome you to LIB Latest News 231 YouTube channel. LIB Latest News 231 is the place where you can watch all of your political news, entertainment news, and sports news. To stay informed about the latest news, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification button on your screen for more videos from Liberia, Africa, and the world at large.
Before then, I thought it was something done in good faith, and I thought the source of the money was earnest. Now I realize that the source of the money was. In fact, on that show, Witherspoon did what I call a tacit admission to being a criminal. And if the prosecution counsel or prosecuting counsel were listening, they would pick up the tape. He respond to me. How he started? Oh, he said, I stole the money and I gave you some. What he was trying to do was to buy the public sentiment to say, okay, he was under criminal indictment when he himself had the transaction. That was the message he was trying to push. They didn't allow me the opportunity to, respond to him, but they kept cutting me or kept cutting off. But if prosecution was listening to that story and said, oh, but the guy is admitting, and said, brother, I stole the money and you ate some, or you ate my pepper and soup, and all that rubbish story you were talking. It's a tacit admission. If you say you're not criminal, Mr. Jackson, I am not a criminal. This is a criminal case as indicted, but there's a doctrine of presumption. You could argue a corner to say, look, man, this matter is not before, or this is not what we're discussing, and I'm not a criminal, blah, 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 presumption of innocence. He will run there. But he said, I stole the money and I shared some with you. How dare you criticize me? The only wrong thing he did was he mistook the time. He didn't know that the text message he were putting us that we had date and time on it. Because the day he gave me the money was August 9, there, about 2021. His indictment was in 2023. So at the time he and myself were having that conversation, he was not on a criminal indictment to make the argument he made. But it was a plausible argument, right? In intellectual lesson, they say it's a sophistry. A sophistry is a false but plausible argument. People were clapping for it, say, oh yeah, Atty Jackson gets my money. But when I ate the money, it was not in 2023. It was in 2021 when he was not on a criminal indictment. But short answer, Kev, I sent the money back because I tried to politicize what I would now call a tainted generosity. And I thought retention of the money would keep me blemished. I didn't want to be blemished by retaining that money. I sent it back. I've been in America for almost 2 years plus now, brother. I've been in an apartment, it's a 3-bedroom apartment. It's about $1,650 that I pay, 3-bedroom apartment. Then I was just more money I'm living on. I'm a full-grown man. I have my compound in Liberia. Then I was just more money I'm living on. So it doesn't mean anything to give it back. So that's why I give it back. Let me answer your question. I was on Freedom FM when General Kawa, I was in conversation with General Kawa when I said this. And I mean this. And maybe the government, because for obvious reasons, is reluctant. But Mr. Witherspoon is not a citizen in good standing to continuously broadcast to Liberia, especially when he's marketing deliberate falsehood. Even those who call themselves free speech absolutists, people who believe in the First Amendment, they believe that there is an exception to the First Amendment. And the exception to free speech is what? Incitement. Nobody should use the public space to incite people. Mr. Witherspoon, first thing, his trouble is compounded. He is on a criminal indictment, which says that he is not a citizen in good standing. Excuse me, considering that Mr. Witherspoon is an addicted liar now, if he were to say something egregiously wrong or lie against official of the government like he did to my friend Samuel Toure, and there was an uprising in the country, why do you tell Mr. Witherspoon to get redressed? Citizens will say, but they're man on a criminal indictment. Right now, as we speak, Mr. Witherspoon cannot even talk for himself to the American government. He has to get a lawyer to talk through him, right? Lawyers are the one talking for Mr. Witherspoon because his credibility is under question. Everything Mr. Witherspoon says will be what? Scrutinized, right? So you have to talk through his lawyer. The other thing, the reason why I make the case is, even the Witherspoon was to cause serious fire damage in Liberia. Put in Liberia anyway. You carry the court and get redressed. You think we're going to carry him? You extradite him? You can't extradite Witherspoon. Witherspoon is answering the crimes here. You can't go to. So why is the government assuming that level of risk to allow a criminal indictee to continuously market falsehood, to pollute the public discourse and incite people against the government? It's wrong. So one of the doctrine of one of the exception to what the First Amendment, one of the exception to free speech is what? Incitement. Free speech is not absolute. The last time I said on public radio, there is no absolutism associated with free speech. When you exercise free speech, there will be corresponding responsibility. If you engage in making incitement or insightful comments, spreading malicious lie. You know what a malicious lie is? A malicious lie is a lie where you know you lie, you just lie. It's almost like deliberate lie. They may know he lying on me. He gets on the radio. He know he hear myself. He never sent me whack. I was in London, and he just decided to lie. Oh, I send a man money to America in London. In London, I just the same money every time, but bring one receipt. He can show. Oh, when you were going to Liberia the few times, I pay a plane ticket. Bring the receipt. A Witherspoon can keep a receipt from 2021. You don't think you'll be able to keep receipt for 2023? So they make a lying. He said, my friend Samuel I gave him $50,000. I think some of the was the allegation that all of you were struggling with. So if the guy is spewing deliberate lies, if he's inciting the people against the government, why do you want this criminal indictee to continually broadcast to the country? So I think on that basis, and there are several authorities that side with me. If you go to the Iranian case in Uganda, the radio station was shut down for incitement. All right? And those radio stations that was shut down for inciting violence, they were not people on a criminal indictment. Witherspoon case is one step forward. He's on a criminal indictment. As the first thing, meaning he's not a citizen in good standing. He needs lawyers to talk for him. He's not noted for saying true. Then the second thing is he inciting people against the government, inciting people against other people. So on that basis, I call for, in the word, the exact word I said they should deny him the oxygen of publicity. And that man continue to market lies. He continue to smear people. Where do we take him to get redress? The government can't care anywhere. They may on a criminal indictment. It may what they call trouble. And let's assume if you are a citizen and the whole city gets into flame. He starts somebody maybe against the city mayor and the whole city gets into flame. Those are demonstrating, burning tire all in the street. Will you be able to carry what does you're going to charge in your library? You're carrying there. You can't carry there. So the government should be proactive. It is the responsibility, it's a duty of the government everywhere around the world to regulate what is marketed in the public space. All right. So when we even file our petition before the criminal code, the other time, Judge Zota granted our petition. Nobody should incite the public against the government or incite anybody against another person like they may have been doing. You incite the public, oh, they may give 50,000. And my friend Samuel to tell you, but brother, I mean, you're selling fake credentials to people. You don't refuse that money. That 50,000, you refuse. You have to stop the lie, man. You can't gain any currency. So that was the basis of my argument. And I'm maintaining that argument that Mr. Witherspoon is not in good standing. That Mr. Witherspoon is on a criminal indictment. And that Mr. Witherspoon, not only that he's on a criminal indictment, he's making insightful comments and engaging in malicious lies against individuals in the government. And as such, we should deny him the oxygen of publicity.
Let me ask you my second question.
Yeah.
You think you the lawyer now, you think a citizen of Liberia can walk to the courthouse and say what coming out of that station will endanger the country, will bring a problem in the country, will plunge that country into chaos, into anarchy? So can a citizen can walk into the court and sue or for certain things as a lawyer can do? I
think the citizen has the democratic right to exercise, and what the citizen can do, they can speak to the legislature, right? So they can send a petition maybe before the committee on maybe communication and broadcast. They say, look, we are concerned about this guy marketing deliberate or red lies to the country. And we think the government should do something about it. They can go and petition the Ministry of Justice, which has the statutory responsibility to go before the court and petition the court and give evidence of the man insightful comments and say, look, this fellow is on a criminal indictment. He's making insightful comments. He wants to create chaos in this country. We as a government, we're concerned. We got to be proactive. And so we come to the court to grant us the permission to cease his operation. Whenever he clears his name and he becomes a citizen in good standing and he start making insightful comments, definitely will reopen his station. The Ministry of Justice can do that. But what citizen can do is to petition the government to out of the legislature or People, every time people are aggrieved, what the constitution says when people are aggrieved, they should petition the government to what to answer their grievances. So I think the citizen can now go and petition the legislature or go to the Ministry of Justice and protest. Say, look, you got to do something about them man continuously lying on people, continuously lying and shamelessly, maligning people and smearing people in this country. We are worried about this man continue broadcast. We let the man go clear a knee first. When he ain't boosting it, then he can come talk to us, or the man should start making insightful comment. We don't want the country to slide into conflict. I mean, these people can go to the Ministry of Justice and petition the Ministry of Justice, so the Ministry of Justice can find the proper people with the judiciary, with the court, basically deny the man the oxygen of publicity, because he's, like I said, my starting statement was what? He's an irredeemable fraud. I mean, an irredeemable fraud cannot be continuously broadcast into the country. He is basically corrupting the public discourse. He's polluting public discourse. Why should we allow him on the airway? We shouldn't.
Okay, let me progress. Everybody.
Mr. Gibson, good to see you, and welcome.
Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, sorry about that. Welcome to the closing argument.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Let me ask you this question. Folks are saying that you provoked the conversation. What there's a Liberian saying that what makes a man shame makes him mad. Is it possible? Would it have been fair to say when you came up and what accusation that Mr. Witherspoon made against you? Could you have said, "Oh, Stanton, it's not true," and then move on? But you went straight into the attack and said that what obviously I'll respond if I'm on the show and going through some issue like that. I'll definitely respond. But how will you respond to the critic that's saying that you instigated that on him, that he had to respond that high?
People, thank you. I think it's a fair question, but the people who are making such argument, the first thing I would say to them, they did not listen to the show with a degree of open-mindedness, right? And I can my jujitsu for that person who making such an argument would be, but Mr. Witherspoon could have asked the question in 150 ways, we all basically be accusatory, right? We're all basically trying to beat me down, right? So you said before your friend, man, I will come to the intellectual support for the argument, right? But you said before an interlocutor, and he comes at you. First, what he thought to do was to make that condescending statement. Oh, you insulted Bronsky yesterday, and you did this, and you did that. Even though he was not reading any script to attribute anything directly to me, but he went on. The first thing he said, well, who brought him in on my show? He going on. Then he comes out and says, oh, you went to Liberia and you fit on a committee. Now you getting into places now. You're marketing propaganda. So the people who say, "Oh, but Mr. Jackson, you just need to be nice and be smiling with this guy," I said, "No, I can't be smiling with the guy." And the only people who make that argument, I can say to you, a family friend made similar argument, right? A family friend made that argument. I think he wrote a commentary. He could pass for my brother-in-law, my wife, foster brother. He made a similar argument. He did a commentary. I think the Facebook name is Bana Peking. What I can say to Bana Peking and all of those who subscribe or associate with that view is that the book they have been reading is Mills and Bones. People who may look at an argument, they read more Mills and Bones. They don't read political science. If you read political science and you get a lecture from an authoritative figure like Aristotle will tell you about what? The three strategies in effective debating. He talks about what? The ethos. The ethos is where you deal with the credibility of the interlocutors. So, for instance, if you were having a debate with a person and the person tried to elevate their credibility, your duty as a good debater is to go at the person's credibility and say, look at the guy who trying to say he's a clean guy, he's a nice guy. Look at him. This man is laboring on a criminal indictment. And brother, everything that I said, maybe I said it with a level of eloquence, right? But I didn't insult the brother. I said something that was truthful, right? Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, you laboring on a criminal indictment. And anybody who labor on such indictment, for them to lie on me or to market this deliberate falsehood, is a child's play. So I brought Dr. Famulus into proceeding. You know, somebody who can lie, somebody who can steal, lying is an easy thing for them. Bro, look at the argument that the brother was making, that I don't fit on a Kumi's thing. Since I left the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism as Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, who have gone to that ministry to surpass my record? Which political party think you think my eloquence will not be needed on them? You know, so you are marketing deliberate falsehood. So I thought to use what I learned as a good debater, the ethos. So I use the ethos. Aristotle said you can use the ethos, you can use the pathos. The pathos is what? Where you appeal to people who are emotion. And he talked about the logos. The logo is where you basically talk about what? Logic. My style of debating, if you follow me for a very long time, my style of debating is to first use the ethos. When I use the ethos, then I can come down and conclude with logos. But on that show, when I started with ethos, they make an emotional straight. He didn't allow me to learn my thought. Then he interrupted me. And then he started doing all that thing. Then he started pausing my battle. Looking back, I think they did well for him. I think he did well for himself to have interrupted me, because the ethos I was using, I could have gotten stronger than what I did, right? Because I could have gone back to his record, other record that I know to be true, that this guy is a disgusting adulterous. I would have gone there, because you can't want to be teaching people moral lesson when you are a disgusting adulterous. This man who will basically take advantage of his wife's own sister, as we know it to be a public rumor, will come on public show and say he's a moral icon, and you say I should not go to that record. Anybody will say, oh, I said you keep down high, I will tell that person you've been reading Mills and Bones. If you read one piece of Aristotle writing on public debate, you will embrace me and applaud me. Matter of fact, I think people should have been clapping for me for exercising the courage, the modicum of courage, to look this guy in the face vis-a-vis and tell him truth to his face. Not many people got that courage. Some people are going there and will start genuflecting. You really think I'm supposed to be genuflecting before that boy because he gave me 1,500? I would go and genuflect. I'd be scratching my head. Oh, my man, you feel no committing? Yeah, my man, you know me. I feel no committing. You think I would do that, brother? You don't know me? So when you know me and know my orientation, you know what I did was just half of what I could have done, because I would have gone to his record as a disgusting adulteress, an adulterous cheat. Look, I told the Reverend in my rectory, I said, Reverend, you say you know that man, yeah, why you did it to that man? I said, Reverend, you know, we all can do funny things, but brother, you know what it means? You got to be at a very different level to seduce your wife's sister. Her own sister. You got to be a disgusting adulteress to do that level. That's what Witherspoon did. Mr. Witherspoon closet stinks in the nostril of decent people. And if I were to go to his closet, you will get the potent odor that will cover the whole of New Jersey, even Philadelphia, where he goes. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I stuck with the debate. People are coming. I stuck with the debate. I used the rule that I know, and the rule that I knew was to use what? Ethos. Ethos is where you bring down the credibility of somebody who tried to exalt theirs above you. And I went to a truthful story, which Mr. Witherspoon cannot deny. He is on a criminal indictment, and by virtue of the fact that he's on a criminal indictment, he cannot stand on any moral high ground to chastise anybody on that show.
I want to come back to just close on this. Just say something here that we were even accused on this show that we were offered $50,000 and ran away. And because we did not get it, and that's why we got mad and left and stuff like that.
Imagine.
We didn't go to that level. We just said let history, let the record show and what happened. But yeah, it's something that happened. Senator Dillon, after you came and made a response, came up and said that he gave you a coat suit and In fact, I reached out to Senator Dillon and said that the statement he put up was bad, that he needed to take it down. I reached out to him. But why do you think he did that? Why do you think he came in defense, or why do you think he came after you like that?
What else before I answer the question? Let me say, people, before I answer the question, let me say your position. I mean, you got different orientation, right? I mean, you're not a traditional politician who have gone through the rigor of reading Aristotle and had to debate, how to shoot down people. So when they got tried to malign your character, he said, brother, I'll leave you with your God. I mean, because you come from a different orientation. Orientation, you preaching Jesus Christ, right? He said, brother, I'll leave you with your God. You lie, I'll leave you with your God. My orientation is I'm a political guy. I read Aristotle. I read many philosophers. That was even my criticism of Joe Bwaka. I went to two of the distinguished authorities and said, Mr. Bwaka made error in judgment to take home. And I was using authorities to push my argument home. But the Dillon thing, sometimes I don't let a dignified Dillon, Dillon, not only that Dillon is small-minded, but Dillon lies so much that sometimes I wonder, I said, why is it like to live with a man who just lie routinely like Dillon? Dillon lie, and the truth, even if the truth were to sit on Dillon's forehead, he would not recognize the truth. The last time Dillon said something so egregious like the one he said the recent time, I challenged him. I said, but Dillon and myself had a debate like he said, right? In 2010, but he's forgetful. I think that debate was in 2009, but 2010, but he said 2010, I gave it to him. During that debate, Dillon in a post, right, to show that the post is a deliberate lie, it's no inconsistent. During that debate, when I was pushing Dillon like I did to Witherspoon, right, going down, deep diving him. Hey, John, Mama, Yaga, Bimo, they can't speak English. They don't feel like talking. The shoes, I bought shoes for you the other time. You're so ungrateful. So I challenged Dillon and said, Dillon, why are you trying to, distract what we're discussing? You never bought any shoe for me. Matter of fact, I wear very better shoes. I don't wear. You never gave me any shoes. But for 2010 to 2023, Dillon is not saying shoes anymore. He wrote in a piece that he bought me coat suit. So you can see that Dillon is inconsistent. So his inconsistency just show that he's just a pitiful liar. He's a pathological liar. He's a barefaced liar. The guy who was the moderator of the show is still alive. His name is what? Edwin Clark. Edwin Clark is a lady human being. The show was called Crossfire. You ask Edwin Clark, Edwin Clark, yeah, lie. My man, Dillon is a complete joke. See, this is the guy who lied about things that he should not even lie about. Plane ticket. Yesterday, 2010, he said he bought me shoe. Today, he said he buy a coat suit. Rubbish. No, some people like Dillon, the thing they do for the living, that's what they impute to other people. Dillon and I were fortunate to have traveled with Madam Sally to New York. In New York, to attend the General Assembly. In New York, after we attend the assembly in the day and night, anytime around 10 o'clock to 10:30 thereabout, Robert Sally will call Dillon and carry him from the hotel. We were in the suite, right? Robert Sally will call him and carry him. Robert Sally will come by, buy him clothes. So he used to buy clothes for him. That's why he think when he say about me, it was ask Dillon. Right now, Dillon have plenty of money in his pocket. Was he able to buy shirt for Abel Blackie? Before in 2020, when he was gapping, he would buy clothes, shoe for me, or buy coat suit for me. The clothes that people, I'm not a rich person, right? But the clothes that I wear, I take it from very good brand. When I went to London, I went to Tumble with Asa. On sale, on clearance, I would stay in the store and get my size. I don't wear cheap quality Chinese clothes. The time I wear Tumble and Asa or Ed and Ravencraft. I don't wear cheap clothes. So that thing Dillon talking, I belch. But you see, the reason why he thought to do that is because liars have a way of congregating, right? They say, pair of the same fellow, we were flocked together. I've often criticized Dillon, so he was looking for an opportunity to say something. He's an opportunistic guy. That's the person he is. He sees a one opportunity and he says, belch. But I have given you witnesses who you can go to and they will authenticate that Dillon testimony is inconsistent, and by the fact that the testimony is inconsistent is what it should be shut down because it's fraudulent, right? You can't say in 2010 you bought me shoe, 2023 you say you buy coat suit. Edwin Clark, who was the journalist who moderated the show, is still alive. Go to speak with Edwin, but they don't be lying, man. So these people have no credibility. That's why everybody, when I hear people say, you know, they all are the same, they all are like each other, right? There's false equivalency. Oh, Mr. Jackson, when somebody do good for you, why can't you do? We all can ask for good. That's not. I don't want to be part of that bunch, because we all are not the same. They don't can celebrate one day because as an more controversial, so they celebrate it because there's no doubt they can find on this guy. You can't say as a Jackson lie about his school document. It's Dillon who had lied about his high school paper repeatedly, that one day Dillon had not been able to show one piece of evidence that he's a bona fide high school graduate. In 2009, when we raised the issue of Dillon being a mere high school graduate, I will tell you the joke that followed. Councilor Bronski was concerned. He said, as I just raised a big debate, as they were eloquent to get on radio, he said, you are a mere high school dropout. Dillon, where the evidence you got that you graduated from high school? Jacob Smith was in the meeting, even though Jacob Smith is associated with Youngbley and Joe Boaga, he will not deny this because it will be about his conscience. The boss man asked Dillon, Councilor Bronski asked Dillon, so Dillon, what evidence you get? As they told you here, brother, what evidence? You know what Dillon told Bronski? Chief, the time I graduated, I don't get the real high school diploma and the YS certificate, but I can show you a picture of my uniform, wearing uniform. You know what Bronski responded? A senior lawyer, you know what Bronski told him, man? Bronski turned to Jacob Smith. Jacob was the chief of officer. I said, Jacob, I beg you, my guy, another meeting, you and Dillon continue the meeting. Because the senior lawyer knew that the guy was spilling lies. How can you say you graduated from Heston and you got the YS certificate and the diploma and all you can show was somebody's uniform or wearing Heston uniform? Rubbish. You can't deceive a senior lawyer. So every time Jacob and myself met during the course of that debate in 2009, we laugh at Dillon. Only the high school picture I get, I get a certificate. So he been lying. And he's a corny guy. Because he been lying about the high school paper, the way he tried to get away with it was to now humorize it, right? Make joke about it. Every time he challenged me, I just tell a great man. The fresh CV that Dillon put us out, which was basically researched by a colleague of mine, Lamin Pago, on Facebook. You know why he put that? Dillon said he graduated from St. Peter Clever High School in Buchanan. And I let to show that I let to beautify, right? The Soften Post City of Buchanan. Dillon said he graduated from St. Peter Clever High School. When people started coming from St. Peter Clever High School to say, the other Yanni, he got a Chipley. He said, but Chipley ain't graduated from St. Peter. Why you go put that thing on Facebook for? Dillon took it down. But by the time he took it down, Lamin had got a copy of it. That evidence still around. So, I'm narrating this story so you can know who Dillon is. Dillon is a big-time liar, and he's not embarrassed by telling lies, right? The last time he said, when he took the issue regarding the plane ticket, when he lied first, right? Can you imagine? The man is so brave. I mean, the audacity, the bold-faced way the man lies. He wrote on Facebook, challenging Rodney C.A. and other people that he didn't fly business class. When Rodney C.A. took the time, the effort to go and dig deeper, what did Dillon say? He capitulated and said, gentlemen, I made my machine. The other thing, I really lied. They lied with me. I was on one show. I told the people, I said, but that's not the man first time making a machine. The man always made a machine. He always lied. That man, that was it. The Dillon other CV. The last time, I think it was a show when I said, Dillon CV is a parago of lies. The other CV, you know what Dillon put there? That Dillon had not gone to college before. You know what Dillon put in CV? Dillon said he had BSc in political science. That CV was passing all over in Monrovia. I said, when they showed me Dillon's CV, I said, but Dillon, they may have not even come close to university door. Because he had political science, he assumed they gave him Bachelor of Science degree. When political science, basically Bachelor of Art. People get Bachelor of Art in political science. They don't get BSc. Dillon, we started mocking Dillon. Then our other CV started hiring it. The whole CV is a parago of lies. And I wrote 3 articles when Dillon was running to be senator, reminding our people that Dillon is not a decent guy to rely on. Dillon will let you down. Was it not Dillon who went under the cover of darkness to Abachi House to beg for money on his belly and came back in the Senate chamber and started telling Abachi that role and Abachi had to call him out? These are the people who you say criticizing me and I should be bothered by it. No, brother, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. So that they don't have been that way. That's the kind of guy he is. But I wrote 3 articles calling the guy up. My friend Imaya Yato, he disagree. Oh my man, you know, all up from Basel, my man, yeah, how your man, yeah, little man. You know what Yato did to me a few times? Yato telephoned me. I think we've stayed almost 2 hours on the phone. He said, "Oh, brother Jackson, we should have listened to you then. Dillon is a disgrace." So Dillon is a disgraced liar. He's a proven liar that he bought me from Shuna to Kosu. It cannot be anywhere authenticated. He's a dangerous political opportunist. He saw an opportunity to say something too because he and his man Witherspoon. And this is another thing I would say about Witherspoon, right? That Witherspoon guy who went to, you know, a discredited suspended high school in Liberia goes on his show and somebody say this guy who went to a discredited high school to throw things at me and I should be scratching my head, I should genocide. Then what else went to Witherspoon? Witherspoon, a discredited high school in Liberia. Everything you know about that high school, they're selling grades there. You just call it what? Can't let graduate. That's the school Witherspoon went to. He and Dillon and these kind of people should stand before me and say, oh, you know, honor committee. What honor committee? In fact, when I came back to the US, the Kumi people started sending me messages. Mama, you gotta come back. You gotta come back. You gotta come back. I can show you messages from my phone where they say, you gotta come back. The second thing on which I left Liberia, I can explain. So they made a lie. So he and Dillon, they are one and the same. That's why they get together. That's why they hand in glove. What they got in common is just to lie on people, to lie and deceive our people.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, it's about the time is about. It's almost 6 o'clock, so let's make progress.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was long. Sorry. I apologize.
Yeah,
sorry.
So, let's give Jackie the chance to ask her 2 questions, and then we'll move on to another topic. Jackie?
Mr. Jackson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, man. Thank you.
That's good. I have 2 questions. One, you said that Spoon TV network should be shut down. You are a lawyer, and when institutions are built, they are usually built independent of the head or CEO or management, because even if something happens, the institution must go forward. And under our laws in Liberia, media institutions should be protected. Don't you agree with that? And even regardless of what happens to Mr. Witherspoon, Spoon Network is an institution by itself. So you are a lawyer and you are aware of that.
You make a valid argument, but here is my counter argument to the valid argument you made. Mr. Witherspoon is an institution are one and the same. He continued to use that institution as a vehicle to market delivery falsehood and make insightful comments. So how do we deal with that? Mr. Witherspoon is not on different platform marketing delivery falsehood. He's not on different platform corrupting our public discourse. He is using that platform as a vehicle to market deliberate falsehood and incite violence in the country. So the only option that the government has, like what done in Rwanda, is to what? To shut that thing down. If Mr. Witherspoon can disassociate himself from that institution, they can make the argument in court. But since he uses that vehicle to incite violence, it is that vehicle that we're going to shut down. All right? You know, sister, there's no 2 ways about it. I agree with your argument, valid argument. But why do you think institution will go and shut? Why the government in Rwanda did that? It's a well recorded case of what? An exception to free speech. Mr. Witherspoon established the institution. He's the CEO of the institution. He uses that institution. When they send the recent Fox News case in the United States, Rupert murder, and he was dragged there. It was a private suit, right? That there are instances where you can't divorce the man from the institution, especially when he's actively using the institution to market deliberate falsehood, when he's using that institution to pollute public discourse, when he's using that institution to corrupt public discourse. We cannot distance the man from the institution. We will bundle them and shut them down. When he comes back and says, oh no, the institution myself are not one and the same, then we can draw the argument. But as it stands, we can't allow him to continue the broadcast to the country. He and the institution are one and the same. You know, there's a sole proprietorship. You know about sole proprietorship. We're not going to open law class for that one. But Mr. Witherspoon is institution I want in the sea. And more than that, Mr. Witherspoon is using his institution shamelessly, continuously to corrupt the public discourse in Liberia. Assume me, Mr. Witherspoon, insightful comment were to what? QATF in Liberia. What redress do you think the Liberian government will get? The Liberian government has a responsibility to regulate what happened in the public space. That's my response.
Yeah, but ability to protect freedom of speech, which I'm sure you're working under the Unity Party government appreciated that as well. And the Unity Party government did that. So this government is trying to do that and should continue to do that. And also, just for the sake of the audience here, you, when the incoming government, CDC, took over, you worked for CDC. Why did you leave? What happened between you and the CDC government that caused that you right now you no longer work for in the position that you worked in?
Okay, before I answer the question, sister, you made a passing comment which I think I need to address. Talk about freedom of speech, and I will talk slowly so we people can understand. Because
hi, it's your girl Sassy MC here, and I would like to welcome you to LIB Latest News 231 YouTube channel. LIB Latest News 231 is the place where you can watch all of your political news, entertainment news, and sports news. To stay informed about the latest news, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification button on your screen for more videos from Liberia, Africa, and the world at large.